Second attempt. Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live. I think it may have worked. I think it might have worked. Has it worked, boys? Alright. Alright. It might have worked. Yes. Nice one, Jack. Nice one, Graham. Boys, I've been trying to get this stream working for a while. What is up, Alex? What is up, Jax? I've been trying to get this stream working for a while, boys. YouTube is tricky, man. YouTube is tricky for live streaming. Twitch, literally all you do on Twitch, literally just fucking connect to the API. You're off. It's working. YouTube, tricky. It's fucking tricky, boys. But we are here. Alright, boys. Let me just drop a little linky poo into my chat room. Okay, and then we'll be off. We'll be off and running, boys. There we go. There we go. Nice one, boys. Alright, let's go. Let's go. Alright, boys. How's everyone doing on this Saturday night? Hope you're all doing good, boys. Hope everyone's doing great. And, yeah, man. It's all good. It's all good. All looks to be working. What's up, Gerardo? What is up? Hey, underrated. We're going to live bet our balls off tonight, underrated. What's up, Aldo? Aldo, good luck for tonight. You should smoke Vera, dude. You should smoke Vera. Good luck, Aldo. Yeah, the beard's gone, dude. The beard's gone. My country's just shut down, so I had to go get a fucking haircut before it was too late, man. Alright. Don't have much time. Less than an hour before the UFC starts. So let's get into these prop bets then, boys. Let's have a look. So there are some really good prop bets on this card. This is a particularly good week for the old prop bets. And so let's get into them and see what we've got. I also will fire up Photoshop because I haven't put together the parlays yet. We should actually probably start with the parlays. That'll give people a little bit of time to lock them in before the event starts. So let's do the parlays. So basically, on my website, MMABettingTips.com, every single week, I put out prop bets and parlays that people can tail. So I put together like 3 parlays. We've got the long shot parlay, which is obviously a high risk parlay, but not too many legs. The Hail Mary parlay, kind of like, 5 to 6 leg parlay somewhere in the middle, and then a lottery ticket parlay where we chuck tons of fighters in and we try and hit a big winner. We have hit one a couple times this year. We have hit a couple of the lottery ticket parlays a couple times this year. Obviously, these parlays are really, really, the win rate on them is super low, but we do win them from time to time, and we'll be tracking the results of these, from January as well. Going back over our results over the last year on the props, on the parlay. Sorry, we do track the props. I'll show you the profit and loss on them in a minute. But yeah, we will be tracking the backdated profit on the parlays from January. Hiltsy, who's been a member on my website for a really long time, is working on that for me as we speak over Christmas. All right, boys. So let's figure out a parlay for this card. So Giagos should win easily. Then I like Taylor Santos, Sihara Eubanks, and Jeff Neal. I quite like those 4 as kind of like the safest parlay. Obviously, no parlay is safe, but gun to my head, I would say that these 4 fighters have probably got the best chance of winning. I would say these 4 fighters have got the best chance of winning, so it makes sense to pop them into the first parlay. So I'll put this in, and then update the article, and then we'll get into these props, boys. I've already come up with the props, so do not worry. we've got some good props for this card. So that's the first parlay, and I'll add them into the article in just a sec so you can see them. Alright, 2 more I would add would be Jose Aldo and Marlon Moraes. That will take us to our mid-tier parlay. Our long shot parlay. Obviously, very, very, very unlikely these parlays win. But I've got to reiterate on this prop bet live stream that not everyone bets on MMA for money. At the end of the day, gambling is also a form of entertainment. There are cities built on gambling being a form of entertainment. Las Vegas, Macau, Atlantic City. These are places that are built on the premise that people find gambling and losing money interesting. So these prop bets, these parlays, are just a way of making these fights more interesting to watch. So we need to add another bet or two to this to really bump the odds up and make this one more interesting. So I will go with Cody Durden. That bumps it up quite nicely, actually. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's 58.49. Massive odds. $10 would pay like $6,000, right? No, it wouldn't. It would pay 600. My maths are a little bit off there. I haven't slept much. Little bit tired, boys. But we are going to be live betting our balls off in about 45 minutes. So there we go. That is the third parlay. And by the time we've posted these on the site, everyone should have got their notification on eBay. God, boys, I am tired. Jesus Christ. Everyone, we're not on eBay, boys. We're definitely not on eBay. We should have got. Everyone should have got a notification. I've gone live, and then we can get into these props. All right. So where are we? There we go. Just change these around. Hope you're all doing good today, boys. And we'll give the spiel about the prop bets in just a second. Where are we? Alright, parlay 1. There's 1 done. Boom. Boom. Second parlay. Yeah, Twitch is a lot better, man. You are right. You are right. What's up, Will? What's up, Willie? Alright. Parlay 2. And I will bring this article up as well in just a sec, so that if you guys didn't have time to jump on these parlays, you'll be able to see what they are. And then the lottery ticket parlay, the final one. What's up, Jack? What's up, Jack Lambert? You okay, mate? What's up, Yoda? Hey, what's up, Hypen? Hypen's one of my VIP members, man. I do find that when I do these, quite funny, when I do these streams on YouTube and Twitch and stuff, it's most of my members. I see Rocco in there as well, underrated. Yeah, I hate being clean-shaven, Rocco, honest to God, man. I hate it, mate, but all the barbershops are closing tonight in Wales, so my hand was forced. It's not good. It's not good. We have to get out, shave the sheep before the fucking government shuts all the businesses down. Alright, boys, here we go. So, these are the prop bets for tonight. What I would say about prop bets, like I was just saying a few moments ago, entire cities have been built on gambling being a form of entertainment, right? So these prop bets, like I say in these disclaimers, they're extremely risky. Prop bets are just something that over the years my members have asked me to do so that they can bet a little bit on each fight to make watching the fights more interesting. So I always say, like with props, to be honest, over the last 2 years since I've been tracking results on them, they are profitable. They're definitely profitable, but the swings are huge. Because my personal philosophy for betting props, a lot of people will get really specific and they'll bet on, short odd props. Things like, certain fighters to win by decision at odds of like 2.50, 3.50, really tight odds. I don't like those kind of props because from my perspective, with those kind of props, it's hard enough to make money betting on MMA just from straight up who's going to win and who's going to lose. When you start to add more variables into the mix, like method of victory, it becomes really, really difficult to make a profit if you're betting on props at really short odds, which by short odds I mean odds close to even money, which is, you know, either side of the odds of 2.0 plus 100. So my personal strategy, you can see my philosophy here. My personal strategy for prop bets is I go for high risk, high reward. So when I'm looking for props, I'm not necessarily looking for the most likely outcome. You know, I'm not betting on props that I think have a really good chance of winning. I'm betting on props that I think have got a lot of value. So, for example, I would much rather bet on something like, let's find an example. I would much rather bet on something like, trying to think of a very good example here. I would much rather. All right, I've actually got a good example for you. I've got a good example when we get into the prop bets. I would much rather bet on something like D-Ron win by knockout at 7.8 for reasons I'll describe in a moment. I would much rather bet on that than the most likely outcome, which would be Araujo to win by knockout. No, that's a bad example. Araujo to maybe win by decision. The payout's not great. Because the way I look at it is prop bets are really high risk anyway. Whenever you're betting on highly specific outcomes, it's very difficult to make a profit long term because of how unpredictable MMA is. So when I look at prop bets, I think, do you know what? If I just win one of these props, I will pretty much break even across all the props. Like, all the props can lose. If I just win one, I'm going to break even. If I win two, I'm in profit. So I'm always looking for those high risk, high reward situations. So if you see me, you know, recommend a bet on Marcin Tybura to win it by knockout or TKO, you're like, that's crazy. Like, Tybura doesn't have any knockout power. He never knocks anyone out. Just understand there's method to the madness. And the end result of this, these results are not amazing. But in almost 2 years, we are up around 23 units on these prop bets. Now, it's important to recognise that I place a lot of props on every card. You know, a minimum of like 4 or 5 props on every card. Sometimes we have 8 or 9 props per card. So to place that high volume of bets and to still be in profit is a really big achievement. Remember, these props are only supposed to be for entertainment, and we're still in profit on them. But the reason why we've got all these disclaimers on how prop bets are really risky is because of the swings. You can see massive violent swings up and down. You know, since September, we've had a 46 unit swing. We were down 21 units in September, and now we're up 23. So massive swings. So don't go too big on these. Don't get overly aggressive, boys. They are profitable, but they're just a bit of fun to make watching fights more interesting. Who knows, over the long term, you know, they might start to go on a crazy run and they might start to do a lot better. But yeah, those are the props. Those are kind of like the rules, right? So I'll take you through my reasoning now for each of these prop bets, because I know some of them are going to seem a little bit crazy. I'll take you through the reasoning, and then if you agree with them, you might want to jump on them too. What I would say is, when it comes to prop bets, my advice to you would be not to cherry pick. The way I look at prop bets is I tend to go for more of like a spread betting technique, where, like, if you think of roulette, some people have got their techniques for roulette where they spread their money out across the roulette board, you know, picking just like random different numbers and combinations of numbers and colours. I kind of take that approach to prop bets, where, you know, sometimes, you know, some of my members will ask me, what's my favourite prop? You know, what's the safest prop? Because they only want to bet one prop or 1 or 2 props. That's not kind of like the strategy I use. My strategy for props are, if I bet a lot of bets with a high risk, high reward ratio that have got a reasonably good chance of winning, I don't know, you know, which of these bets are going to win, but I do know there's a very good chance, you know, between 1 and 3 of them will win. And so if I just, you know, throw them out there, toss some spread bets out there, any 1 or 3 can win, and I'll make a profit. Whereas if you try and get cute, and you try and pick which ones are strongest, it's very, very difficult, because, you know, what prop out of these is probably the most unlikely to hit? Probably D-Ron win to win by knockout, right? But if D-Ron win does win by knockout and all the others lose, well, then you've made a loss. When if you were to just bet them all, you would have been in profit off that one bet. So that's kind of like my logic. Hey, what's up, Hugh? Nice one, dude. Nice one, dude. What's up, Taz? What is that, boys? What is that, Will? You know what, mate? My country is just... I don't know what my Christmas plans are. I literally just woke up about an hour ago. I literally woke up an hour ago to get ready for live betting tonight. And literally woke up to get ready to live bet and do this live stream. I just found out my country's fucking closed from midnight tonight. Check this shit out. From midnight tonight, my country is closed down. I haven't had a chance to read up on it yet. People going out panic buying. Look at this. Huge queues form at Welsh stores as shoppers descend after sudden lockdown announced. So massive lockdown tonight from midnight. I don't even know what this means. I haven't had time to read up on it yet. It's pretty scary though, man. Apparently there's a new strain of coronavirus in the UK that's causing fucking chaos. I need to read up on it later. Also need to drink this energy drink because going to be a big night of live betting, man. Big night. Alright. Let me talk you through the reasons for these prop bets now. And remember, boys, I see VCR Repairman and KCOH like talking through, you know, how they feel about these prop bets. Remember, the logic is I'm not going for the most likely outcome. I'm going for the prop bets with the best risk to reward ratio. The props where I only have to invest a little bit of money to get a huge return. So let's start off at the bottom with Gillian Robertson against Taylor Santos. The reason why I like Santos to win by knockout or TKO is because Gillian Robertson is one of these fighters that just commits she just commits everything she's got to get in the fight to the ground. She's got absolutely no stand-up at all. And Robertson's strategy is to commit super hard to a takedown. If she doesn't get the takedown, to then retreat, circle away from her opponent, catch her breath, recharge her batteries before shooting another big takedown attempt. Every single time she commits everything to a takedown and her opponent shuts it down, in the takedown attempts after that, she becomes significantly less effective. So if she had the one really big takedown in the first round and her opponent shuts her down, she's not going to have as much drive on the second takedown attempt. And if their opponent shuts that down, even less drive on the third, even less drive on the fourth. And what happens is, not only does Robertson start to fade from a physical point of view when she can't get, you know, each consequential takedown, but she also starts to lose confidence. And so she starts to shoot from further outside of her opponent's range, which makes it easier for her opponent to read her and see the entry coming, which then makes it easier for them to stuff the takedown. And she also loses confidence, so she doesn't really commit as hard to it. And she starts to kind of give up on it easier than she does earlier on in the fight. So Taylor Santos in her fight against Molly McCann, her last fight, showed, you know, flashes of really strong hips, really good takedown defense, and a pretty good ground game. So if Santos can keep this fight standing, I think very quickly by the second round or midway through the second, Robertson's going to panic, start to turn into a panic wrestler. And then from there, there's a very good chance that Santos knocks her out, because not only is Santos quite heavy from top position, quite aggressive from top position, because you'll also see Robertson pull guard if she can't get takedowns. But not only is Santos quite heavy and quite aggressive from top position, she inflicted tons of damage with ground and pound on McCann, but she's very aggressive standing. You know, lands big, heavy, hard knees in the clinch. Her Muay Thai clinch is great. She's one of these big, strong, physically imposing fighters. So I think Santos by TKO or KO, I like it, because if she can keep the fight standing, I don't see Robertson being able to survive in there for 15 minutes. I think she gets stopped in a similar way to what we saw Macy Barber do. So the next fight, this is probably my favourite prop bet out of all of them. Sahara Eubanks to win by submission. Oh, and I've also got to point out, boys, if the odds are different now, these odds were taken by 5 dimes. If the odds are different, it's because I've been basically adding these props to my website over the last week. So what happens is, as we work through researching each fight, you see, if I got it up, as we work through researching each fight, you see we started research about 4 days ago. But as we research through each fight, and I add the, you see all the breakdown videos in here. But as I do the live streams for each fight, after the live stream or during the live stream, I'll also write down a prop bet. So the odds on these props may have declined since we did that because we started doing the research 4 days ago. But hopefully the prop odds on these are still playable. I did only find this prop today, so this one shouldn't have changed too much. I added this one to the site a few hours ago. Let's take a look. What is it now? Sahara Eubanks by submission. Yeah, it's still 6.65, so it hasn't declined that much. It's only gone down a little bit. So anyway, Eubanks by submission is probably my favourite prop, just because Pani Kianzad is super low level on the ground. Her takedown offense isn't bad, but Eubanks is a very good offensive wrestler. She does a really good job of shooting in deep on her opponent's hips. And because there's a bit of a size difference in this one, I won't bring up the weigh-in video. I've made the mistake in the past of bringing up the stare downs, and YouTube have like killed the stream for like copyright infringement. But if you go watch the weigh-ins on on YouTube, you'll see there's a bit of a size difference here. It's not surprising. Eubanks has obviously previously fought a flyweight. She's only 5'4", so she's on the smaller side for bantamweight. Pani Kianzad fought at featherweight. She was on the Ultimate Fighter as a featherweight, made a UFC debut against Macy Chiasson as a featherweight. So she's on the bigger side for bantamweight at 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. So Kianzad's size may make it difficult for Eubanks to take her down. But to be fair, Eubanks' lower centre of gravity will also make it easier to shoot in on the hips of her taller opponent. So Eubanks has got really good offensive wrestling, and Eubanks is a nightmare on the ground. Super heavy top game, very nice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And Eubanks is one of these fighters that even though she gets tired in every fight, even when she's tired, she's still pretty effective. You know, she's still a very good grappler. I love Eubanks to win by decision because when Kianzad gets put in bad positions on the ground, because she's very weak off her back, her first instinct is to give her back up. And Eubanks has got beautiful back control, you know, slick rear naked choke submissions. I absolutely love Eubanks to win by submission. If you only tail one of these props, go for that one. Eubanks by submission, I absolutely love it. The skill gap on the ground here is fucking enormous. Alright boys, on to the next one. Cody Durden versus Jimmy Flick. This is another prop that I love, to be fair. This is another prop that I love. I do think there's a good chance this fight goes the distance. Both these guys are primarily grapplers. Jimmy Flick, sorry about the background noise, guys. Very sorry about this. Very sorry, boys. We were so unprofessional of me. We will... I'm not sure who's at the door, but fuck it. Anyway, boys, we'll carry on. So, Jimmy Flick against Cody Durden. Both primarily grapplers. Durden with a predominantly wrestling style of fighting. Jimmy Flick with a very much Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu based style of fighting. And very difficult to know who's going to come out on top, because Jimmy Flick's not particularly effective at taking his opponents down. His offensive wrestling's not great. Cody Durden is a very strong wrestler, so he may be able to keep the fight standing by using his wrestling in reverse if he doesn't want to go to the ground with Jimmy Flick, and that could lead to the fight kind of staying standing, being kind of an awkward, cagey stand-up fight where not a lot happens. And if that happens, you know, neither guy looks particularly dangerous standing, so there's a good chance it goes the distance. On top of that, you know, where we look at how these guys match up from a grappling point of view, Jimmy Flick is very tricky on the ground. Jimmy Flick looks, you know, dangerous on the ground, but Durden's a very, very strong wrestler, so it's very, very possible that Durden just completely shuts down Jimmy Flick's BJJ offense on the ground, chips away at him from top position, neutralizes his BJJ, and again wins a decision. So I do like Durden to win by decision here, because I think that he could potentially grind Jimmy Flick out on the ground. I don't think Flick's grappling is as good as people think it is, and if it stays standing, he could just kind of chip away at him and nick a close decision win standing. So to be fair, I do absolutely love these two props. These props are pretty good, man. These props are very, very, very good. So the next prop we're going to go for is D-Ron win to win by knockout or TKO, which is probably alongside Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO going to be the most controversial prop, I would imagine, because when you look at the stare downs and you see D-Ron win, you know, he's only 5'6". You see Antonio Araujo 6'3", absolutely towering over D-Ron win. You know, it's one of those things where you are... Hey, Sorry, boys. My dog's causing havoc on this live stream, boys. I really appreciate it. It is very, very unprofessional of me. But anyway, boys, when you see Antonio Araujo towering over D-Ron Win at the weigh-ins, you're probably like, how the hell can this guy recommend D-Ron Win to win by knockout or TKO? But this is where fight research is so important, because the devil is in the detail. Even though Antonio Araujo is predominantly a striker, D-Ron Win's predominantly a grappler. If you go and watch their past fights, you will see that Antonio Araujo has a totally kicks-based style of striking. This guy cannot box, barely throws a punch in his fights. Every once in a while, you'll see Araujo kind of blitz his opponent with like straight punch, like taekwondo type, blitzing attacks where he's throwing straight punches coming forward. But in terms of actual boxing, Araujo doesn't have any. And to be fair, for all of D-Ron's weaknesses, he is a pretty good boxer. Pretty good at fighting his way inside and letting his hands go with big hooks. And what might surprise you about this one is, even though the size difference is huge, D-Ron Win's got an abnormally long reach for his height, which is only 5'6". He's got a 70-inch reach. And Araujo has got an abnormally short reach. He's 6'3", but he's only got a 73-inch reach. 73-inch reach. There's only a 3-inch reach differential here. So I don't think it's going to be as hard for Win to get to Araujo as people think it is. So why do I think Win is a good win, a good prop bet by knockout or TKO here? Well, you won't fully appreciate this one unless you've watched their last few fights. But if you have gone back and watched their last few fights, you will know that Antonio Araujo doesn't react well to pressure. And this is because, like I said, he's got a very kicks-based style of striking. And when you have a kicks-based style of striking, you need time and space to get your kicks off. This is why guys like Edson Barboza struggle so much against pressure fighters. When these guys with kicks-based style of striking face pressure fighters, they're constantly forced to fight on the back foot and circle away from their opponent, so they don't have time to set up their feet and get their kicks off. And that's what you see about Araujo. When you pressure him and force him to fight on the back foot, his output falls off a cliff. He becomes very, very hittable and very bad defensively. This guy's boxing defense is very, very bad, to the point where you'll even see him, look very timid and kind of flail his arms out in front of him, Neal Magny style, to try and, use his length to prevent his opponent from getting inside and landing anything big. And you'll also see him kind of turn his back from his opponent and run away from them, Alistair Overeem style, in order to try and alleviate the pressure they're putting on him. And so I do like D-Ron Win to win by knockout or TKO, because if you go back and remember his fight against Eric Spicely, or his fight against his last fight against Gerald Meerschaert, even though he did knock those guys out, he did land absolute bombs. And of course, it's not easy for a guy that's only 5'6" to knock someone out that's 6'3", because they just don't have the physicality. But Win is a decent boxer. It looks like he's got a decent amount of power in his hands, even though he's very small. And with Araujo's boxing defense being as bad as it is, good chance D-Ron Win gets inside and catches him with something big. And to be fair, at these odds, it's worth a gamble. It's absolutely worth a gamble. Like I say, that prop might seem a little bit crazy to you, but if you've researched the fight, if you've gone back and watched a few past fights from these two boys, you will understand it, because people that have wiki capped this fight are assuming that if the fight stays standing, Araujo's going to dominate, and I wouldn't be so sure. I actually think D-Ron Win can outstrike Araujo, just because Win likes to come forward and pressure his opponents, and Araujo's very, very bad when you pressure him. So the next prop, I don't like this one as much, just because the odds are shorter. So you see like pretty generous odds on these props here. The odds aren't as great on Magic Marlon Moraes to win by knockout or TKO, but I do like it, just because Marlon Moraes has got this style where he likes to stay all the way out of his opponent's range where they can't land on him, or all the way in, blitzing. And we see this, in Marlon Moraes' past fights, and the fights that he has, won by knockout. It's been either because he's blitzed forward, covered distance very quickly, and landed some big power shots on his opponent before they see him coming because of how fast he can cover distance, or he's won by knockout because he's been very far outside of his opponent's range. They've come forward to attack him, and then he's kind of springing and caught them with a counter as they've attacked him. Those are kind of like the two ways that you see Moraes rack up these big flashy knockout wins. And with Rob Font has got a very traditional boxing style where he likes to stand heavy on his lead leg and kind of chip away at his opponent with a jab. Now that style's probably not going to be that effective against Marlon Moraes because Marlon Moraes doesn't fight in kickboxing range. You know, Rob Font, in order to have any success, needs guys to stand right in front of him, respect that kickboxing range, and stand in a range where he can like land his nice long jab. But Moraes doesn't play that game. Like I said, he maintains too big of a distance. And so the reason why I like Marlon Moraes here is because it's quite a good stylistic matchup for him where he can stay out of that kickboxing range where Font can get his jab going and then, you know, recharge his batteries and blitz forward every once in a while. And because Font is from, you know, like a traditional boxing background, his instinct, because he stands quite heavy on that lead leg, when someone like Moraes blitzes forward, what you should be trying to do is use footwork to slip back out of range so that their punches fall short. That's not really what Rob Font tries to do. Instead, Font tries to keep his chin tucked, shoulders up high, goes the high boxing card, to kind of use head movement to slip the shot and then fire back and counter. But Moraes is so fast that you might not get an opportunity to do that before you're unconscious. So I do like Marlon Moraes to win by knockout or TKO because Font's boxing defense isn't the best. He does tend to get caught, you know, cold, does tend to get caught clean by his opponents. And obviously Moraes has got big power and the shots to knock you out are the ones you don't see coming. And it's very hard to see Moraes coming because of how fast he is. That's another prop I like. The final prop that I like, Marcin Tybura against Greg Hardy. So we're going for Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO. And this is one of those bets that I know, like Win to win by knockout or TKO is going to be a controversial one. I know Tybura is going to be a controversial one as well. But you have to understand the logic behind the bet. So it's important not to look at prop bets literally, right? When you look at prop bets, you're considering all the odds on the props and, you know, all possible outcomes on a fight. So when you look at a prop like this, it's very tempting to go, you know, Marcin Tybura is a decision machine. He doesn't have any power in his hands. He's quite slow. Hardy moves very well. He's very fast. He's got good striking defense, and he's gone the distance against way more skilled strikers, way more dangerous strikers than Marcin Tybura. You know, guys like Yorgan De Castro couldn't hurt him standing. Alexander Volkov couldn't hurt him standing. So straight away, you know, when you see me recommend a bet on Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO, you're probably thinking this guy is clueless. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Why is he telling me to win? You know, why is he telling me to bet this guy by knockout or TKO? You know, he's not dangerous standing. He's gone the distance against much lower level strikers, you know, than Grishin and Spivak and Struven. He couldn't knock those guys out. But the reason why I do like Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO here is not because I think he can win the fight by knockout. You know, I'm not betting on Tybura here because I think he's going to go out there, land a big right hand on Greg Hardy and knock him out. I like Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO because I have major doubts over Greg Hardy's takedown defense and ground game. And we know that Marcin Tybura is a very strong grappler with, you know, decent offensive wrestling for a heavyweight, good enough cardio to relentlessly pursue the takedown for 15 minutes solid. We also know he's got a super heavy top game and he's very aggressive from top position. Whenever Greg Hardy has had any moments in his past fights where there have been any grappling exchanges, Hardy tends to slow down very quickly. If you just get Hardy grappling for 1 or 2 minutes, his gas tank literally empties, his cardio falls off a cliff. There are certain fighters, and we were talking about this in the breakdown video earlier in this week, there are certain categories of fighters, or certain types of fighters that are very strange, they're a bit different. You know, we were talking about it in the context of Taylor Santos, where we were saying, you know, some grapplers are very strong offensively, you know, great offensive wrestling, you know, very dangerous from top position, very heavy from top position, you know, nasty submissions, but as soon as you put them on the back, they're very weak. And that's unusual because usually if a grappler is very strong offensively, they're also very good defensively. But you do get some guys who are very good offensively and bad defensively. And we were saying Taylor Santos might be one of those fighters. There's also a category of fighter who has a very, very good gas tank, very, very good cardio if the fight stays standing. You know, they can stand in kickbox for 20 rounds and not get tired. But force them to grapple just a little bit and their cardio will fall off a cliff. And based on Greg Hardy's last fight against Maurice Green, based on his fight against Alan Crowder, his UFC debut, I have a strong suspicion Hardy is one of these guys that just can't grapple without gassing out. But otherwise, obviously, if the fight stays standing, his gas tank looks absolutely phenomenal. So my logic behind this bet, I think Marcin Tybura to win by knockout or TKO is not a good prop because I think he can go out there, you know, land a big shot on Hardy and knock him out. But I think if Tybura can get Hardy to the ground and start chipping away at him with ground and pound, Hardy's gas tank is so bad that there's a really, really good chance that Marcin Tybura stops Hardy with ground and pound. And obviously, if he does stop Hardy with ground and pound, that win would be categorized as a win by knockout or TKO. So I'm not betting on Tybura to win the fight standing. That would be outrageous. Hardy is a much better striker. But if Tybura does get into the ground, I think there's a really good chance he stops this fight. And if you're probably wondering why I've gone for Tybura to win by knockout or TKO instead of Tybura to win by submission, the answer to your question is, if you go back and watch Tybura's past fights, whenever he uses grappling, he never really attempts submissions. What he prefers to do is chip away with ground and pound, and then, you know, when he starts to advance into more dominant positions, he will really start to get after it with the ground and pound and start to land really big shots from top position. So that's basically my logic. I think that, you know, if the fight stays standing, I think Tybura is completely screwed. But if he goes to the ground, from what I've seen, I just don't think Hardy's got the skills, the takedown defense, or the gas tank to survive. And I think Tybura probably wrecks him. So that is it, boys. That is it. We got through it, boys. Thank you to everyone watching. 15 minutes to go before this event starts, boys. My live betting chat room might be starting to fill up. So Chandavong's got a bit of an issue here. We got some DMs. What have we got going on here, boys? Oh shit, we've got some issues. I might have to go, boys. Looks like we got some issues. People are struggling to access the live betting room. Let me just check and see if I can just fix this quickly on stream, and then I can answer a few questions. If not, I might have to jump off and see what this problem is, because the event starts in 15 minutes. So hold tight, Chandavong, and hold tight, Lewis, mate. We're gonna fix this problem right now, boys. We're gonna fix it right now. Where are we? Where are we? Shit, I'm not too sure what's causing this problem, boys. There's a technical problem on my website, and I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to go and fix this problem. Actually, yeah, I'm going to have to go fix this problem, boys. Very, very sorry. We got technical problems. We got the prop bets done, though, boys. Good luck for tonight. Good fucking luck. I hope you crush it, boys. Have an amazing Christmas. Have an amazing New Year's. We're going to be back in 2021. Betting breakdown videos every week. Big thank you to everyone who left a comment on the last video. Big shout out to everyone who liked the video, liked the last video. I'm really, 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 really grateful, boys. Thank you so much. Have a great night. I hope you crush it. I hope you make tons of money. I love you all, boys. Thank you for watching. Take care, everyone. I need to go fix my website because it's fucking broken at the worst time of the week possible. 10 minutes before a goddamn UFC event starts. But anyway, boys, love you all. Take care. I'll see you all soon. Have a great Christmas and New Year's, boys. Fucking crush it tonight. I'll see you later.